Today, we are exploring Chapter 58 of the Tao Te Ching, which serves as a meditation on the virtue of humility in helping us find a way to conduct ourselves. Chapter 58 reads, "When the government is unobtrusive, the people remain sincere. But when the government interferes with their lives, the people contend with each other for advantage. Good fortune follows from bad fortune, just as bad fortune follows from good. No one knows what lies just around the corner. Thus there is no right way, because what is right soon deviates into what is wrong, and excellence is soon beset by the ominous." For a long time now, the people have struggled to figure out how to live. So the sage cultivates a sharp wit, but does not use it to cut the dullards down. He speaks honestly but does not insult. He deals directly but does not bully. Though his wisdom illuminates, it does not blind or dazzle. Being human is very confusing, a situation that has persisted for a long time. It seems probable we are at the end, or coming towards the end, of a somewhat lengthy dark age in human consciousness. When we're born and during our early years, we have to take in and organize a fantastic amount of confusing information and make a somewhat coherent and navigable map out of it. We learn about up and down, yellow and orange, mum and dad. We are taught that's the sun, those are clouds, those are mountains, those are rivers, that's a car, that's a cat. It's all very wondrous and strange at first, but we need to orient ourselves so that we can start earning an income and so forth. So after some time, these things come to seem normal. We lean into that sense of normalcy, we build axioms on it, and we found societal institutions on it, which feed back into what we pass on to our own children as they build their own maps. Philosophers, then, are those troublesome individuals who insist that the sense of normalcy is an illusion or a smokescreen, and try to draw people's attention back to the sense of wonder and discovery that is the hallmark of an awakening mind. Nothing is normal about our situation. We are a species with amnesia, for starters. Most of our own history is forgotten, though we have some vague sense that Homo sapiens sapiens has been active on this planet for about 200,000 trips around the sun. The sun, we know, is that big ball of fire in the sky whose energy feeds us and forms the thoughts in our heads by means of converted bioelectricity. We seem to live on a rock that rides a space-time roller coaster in endless dancing loops around said ball of fire, in a spacious universe where trillions of other such balls of fire are visible. Very few of us have absorbed the implications of scientific theories, which seem to say, for example, that those trillions of balls of fire are eclipsed by the 96% of the universe, which is made of dark matter, or that the particles in our hand exist in superpositional states, meaning none of us can say for sure that we are even here. So we walk on stage in the middle of this vast, strange dream, like children wandering into the middle of a movie, and try to make the best of it. Compounding all the aforementioned strangeness, we are not even living in an environment to which we are well adapted. Instead of forests, plains and oceans, we make our homes in concrete castles, whilst trying to make sense of the plethora of life-altering technologies and assumptions that have cropped up just in the past 300 years. Our situation seems to be that of an outlier, although we have no real basis for comparison, cosmically speaking. And then there's this thing called time, putting real pressure and limitation on the resources we have to come to terms with any of this. Some of us think it makes sense to pursue wealth, power, influence or pleasure with the limited time we have before it comes to be our turn to become cold and still. Still others want to pursue ideals or peace of mind or union with the spirit in the sky. Some like to make art and create still more strangeness to fill up this vast, strange realm. Still others content themselves with friendship, affection and family. For many, life is a journey through a variety of such pursuits. But unavoidably, questions come up. Who are we? Why are we here? What is it to be conscious? Why and how are humans different from other beings that share this planet with us? Why do we suffer? What do we experience as we die? What does it take to live a good life? And is it worth the effort? Others have pointed out that if one takes the attitude that life is a school and that it is worth approaching all of this as a learning opportunity, one is far better positioned to appreciate all that this life has to offer. The astute observer will have noticed that society is very sick, in the sense that it takes the game of empire a bit too seriously, and that humans have the nasty habit of compounding the problems of life by introducing such elements as war, poverty, injustice, jealousy, cruelty and so forth. Even a casual glance at our written histories will confirm that this problem has been ongoing for quite some time. In fact, some of our oldest stories seem intent on getting across to us the message that something has gone wrong with the human experiment. The book of Genesis, for example, describes a paradise which is lost when humans become self-conscious and anxious, discovering jealousy and murder shortly thereafter. Since which time humans have been manhandling their way around nature down through the millennia, daring the gods to rain fire on their cities, flood them to extinction, or knock over their towers of Babel. Occasionally people show up talking about love, virtue and kindness, and those not made to drink hemlock, nailed to crosses, or simply shot for their trouble tend to throw up their hands and wander off to be hermits when they realize what they are up against. When World War I was announced, there was a celebratory party on the streets of London, and people cheered for the chance to let off some steam. The slaughter that followed was incalculable, and the survivors swore never to do it again. But of course, another similar war was fought scant decades later. Now, armed with nuclear power and the emerging tools of comprehensive techno-fascism, we stand on a similar precipice facing problems that seem both like and unlike the problems we have always faced, ourselves. It would seem that we're probably not supposed to live like this. As chapter 58 of the Tao Te Ching emphasizes, we have struggled for a long time to figure out how to live at all. The Bible in Jeremiah 17 verse 9 suggests, "The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it?" It's true that we are mostly deluded and ignorant and prone to cognitive biases. Also, we are constantly enmeshed in status games. Perhaps humans are irredeemably doomed by our very nature. That's a gloomy proposition. It seems that in the context of this chapter of the Tao Te Ching, there is a ray of redemption offered by the prospect of accepting this aspect of ourselves. Recognition of our fallen status is the key to humility, which is the beginning of wisdom and the most crucial of Lao Tzu's three treasures. Intellectual humility is in fact the basis of good philosophy and by extension good science. Many superheroes are known for their famous slogans. From Superman's up, up and away to Spider-Man's with great power comes great responsibility. We might suggest one more. Although he's not a hero exactly, Jeff the Dude Lebowski is known for saying, "I don't know, sir." Human beings are almost supernaturally incapable of admitting that they don't have an answer to something. Regardless of how little we know about politics, policy, economics, relationships, psychology or history, the know-it-alls inside all of us immediately become instant experts the moment a casual question mark is tossed our way. Only those who are truly humble inside possess the power and fortitude to admit that they have no clue. What's more, they can also easily recognize the cluelessness of others rather than getting caught up in their clumsy crusades. Culturally, taking a stab in the dark is seen as far more heroic than admitting that you'd rather not stab at anything, especially that which is utterly alien to you. Yet as men and women of action, we are expected to act. However, all one has to do is watch a few daytime TV chat shows to behold the catastrophic consequences of too many bad decisions made in intemperate haste, or as a result of societal pressure to just do something. From doomed marriages to dumb investments, most of us only look back later in life and realize that we were arrogantly self-deluded about what it is we actually thought we were doing. When trying to unravel life's major questions and decisions, the Tao Te Ching counsels an entirely different course of action than immediate action. Rather than struggle to hoist an answer from an empty well, the principle of Wu Wei suggests we adopt the passive approach of the farmer in the story of the Chinese farmer. Thus, rather than looking at every unknown as a threat that needs to be overcome, we can see that an unanswered question is often more prodigious than an answered one. It never stops producing possibilities. Author Alex Garland offers insight into the core problem we face with a quote, "The larger the searchlight, the larger the circumference of the unknown. However, this should not be cause for chagrin. Understanding is not an end, but an endless process, one impeded and diminished by impatience, arrogance, and aggression. All too often we allow our more bombastic and self-assured contemporaries to determine answers to impossible questions, savagely drowning out the more doubtful and skeptical. The leaders and followers of Taoism endeavor not to provide any answers, but rather to protect us from the specious answers of false prophets." The truth is, every one of us is unsure about everything, and far more than we can bear to admit. Perhaps we don't even dare admit it to ourselves. Yet there is no shame in not knowing. Rather, admitting this can be the highest wisdom. As Socrates famously said, "The only thing I know is that I know nothing. What is stupid is pretending to know what you don't." To sum up then, sooner or later, we're all going to have to realize the fact that we're all actually goddamn morons. After that, we can get down to cases. This concludes our examination of Chapter 58 of the Tao Te Ching. Remember to keep your mind humble, flexible, limber and free, and perhaps we can begin to heal from our collective malaise in this wonderful and very strange reality.